Halloween film franchise. Originally titled The Babysitter Murders, 1978's Halloween was written and directed by the master of horror, John Carpenter. The movie told the tale of Michael Myers, a disturbed 6-year-old boy who murdered his older sister on Halloween in 1963. After a 15-year hospitalization, Michael escaped and ventured back to his hometown, where he began stalking a girl named Laurie, played by newcomer actress Jamie Lee Curtis. The 1981 sequel, Halloween 2, began the involvement of other less-known directors, while Carpenter continued to stay involved as the co-writer and producer. In this popular entry in the franchise, Myers continued to stalk Laurie, and audiences discovered that Myers had been adopted and that Laurie was his biological sister. At the insistence of John Carpenter, the third installment, Season of the Witch, kept none of the elements from previous films, aside from the name. Carpenter felt that the series had the potential to branch into a holiday-themed anthology series. As a result, it did not feature Michael Myers or have any connection to the established storyline. It even went so far as to abandon the slasher genre, which the franchise had pioneered. Amidst public confusion over the state of the franchise, the studio acted quickly in order to restore the popular elements once found in the series. Halloween 4 was then appropriately titled The Return of Michael Myers. Carpenter's involvement in the franchise was then further reduced to a supportive writing credit. The film followed the premise that Myers had been in a coma since his last screen appearance. Awaking 10 years after the events of the second movie, Myers discovered that Laurie had died in a car accident. However, she had given birth to a daughter named Jamie, who then became his next target. Only 1 year after its release, the studio felt that the slasher film craze was starting to fade. So they pushed Halloween 5 into production without a solid script. This was the last film in the series with which Carpenter had any involvement. In 1995, the franchise rights were sold to Dimension Films, who were quick to exploit the franchise. They advertised Halloween 6 as 6 times the terror, 6 times the fear, 6 times the thrills of the original Halloween. The film was a commercial failure, but did add an interesting twist to the character with the revelation that he is driven by a curse which forces him to kill his entire bloodline.
It told him to kill his family.
Its failure at the box office resulted in the creation of 1998's Halloween H2O, a semi-sequel that began an alternate timeline that picked up 20 years after the second film, and ignored all the films that came in later. To add credibility to the series, and reconnect with fans of the original John Carpenter versions, the role of Laurie was reprised by Jamie Lee Curtis. Rapper LL Cool J was also cast in the film to help generate public interest. H2O's sequel, Halloween Resurrection, was the final film within the original franchise. The film received terrible word of mouth, and the studio's inclusion of Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes did not do much to win over audiences. In 2007 and 2009, the series saw a complete reboot when Rob Zombie was brought on board to retell the events of the first 2 original films with more gritty cinematic realism and violence. Zombie chose to explore the Myers character's backstory in greater depth. He added a new layer to the franchise by having Laurie's character share similar psychological problems with her brother. Despite the 2007 film performing admirably at the box office, the 2009 sequel tanked. As a result of the reboot's failure, Rob Zombie has refused to come on board for a third film, while Dimension Films went ahead and announced the next entry will be presented in 3D. The project, appropriately entitled Halloween 3D, will seek to capitalize on the tremendous financial success of other recent 3D horror films.